We've got a brand new subcompact combo from RIDGID Power Tools. Is it something you want or need? Let's find out. We've got a brand new combo from RIDGID Power Tools. It's the R97801 and it comes with a 1/2-inch drill driver as well as a 1/4-inch Hex Impact Driver. Now there's some marketing claims to these as far as how much power they're put out, so let's actually find out if that's true or not. Then we'll come back after we use them and we'll talk about pricing and warranty. We've got a new combo kit from RIDGID. This is the RIDGID R97801 and it's their combo kit that includes a drill driver as well as an impact driver. Now the drill is an R97801 is the model number and it's a 1/2-inch drill driver. It is not a hammer drill. It runs on their 18-volt platform. Obviously, RIDGID has done away with their 12-volt. And on the impact driver, we get the R97801 1/4-inch Hex Impact Driver. Now, both of these are brushless tools. And as I mentioned, part of their SubCompact series. So you see right there on the back, you get the moniker or the label there, SubCompact Brushless. So we get brushless motors in both of these. Obviously, as I mentioned, running on their 18-volt platform. And what comes in the kit are two 2-amp-hour 18-volt batteries. Now, these are not meant to be the highest powered tools in the lineup. They're part of the SubCompact series, so they're meant to be compact, but yet still powerful, and we're going to test that here in a few moments. Just to touch on a few of these things, again, let's look at the drill driver. As I mentioned, this is the R97801. You get 2 speeds, so speed 1 and speed 2, and you get a 24-position clutch. Basically 23 clutch positions and then your drill position that's going to lock that clutch out. Now this is a plastic and metal chuck, so we don't get an all metal chuck. We get that plastic ring around here on the outside, but we do get a full 1/2-inch, so we can run 1/2-inch shank drill bits in here with no problem. We get a variable speed trigger as well. So we can go as slow as we want to, all the way up. In speed 2, we're going to get 1,750 RPM, and in speed 1, 450 RPM. So again, we can make this crawl as slow as we want, or use that variable speed trigger to dial in the amount of speed that we want. It delivers up to 500 inch-pounds of torque. We get an LED light here on the bottom, and as I mentioned, it's kitted with a 2-amp-hour 18-volt lithium battery. Push the button there to check the status or the fuel gauge on the battery. Size on this tool, from the front of the chuck to the back of the tool, you're looking at right at 6 1/4 inches, maybe just a touch over 6 1/4 inches. And as far as height, you're looking at about 8 3/4 inches tall. Now that's with the 2-amp-hour battery. And since that's what it's kitted with, that's what we're going to measure by. And we'll go ahead and throw this on the scale as well. So with the 2-amp-hour battery, 2 pounds 15 ounces, so less than 3 pounds for the tool and the battery. So that's a very light tool to be carrying around versus a heavier duty drill that's going to obviously weigh a little more. And we'll go ahead and get started on the impact driver and go ahead and get a weight on that, and we can get the scale out of the way. And again, we're looking at a sub 3 pound tool, so 2 pounds 10.5 ounces, so almost right at the 2.5 pound mark, just above that. So again, a very light tool to carry around, especially in an 18-volt format. Now, size on the impact driver, from front of the collet to the back, you're looking at 4 5/8 inches from front to back. And then height on the tool is going to be right at 8.5 inches. So just shy, just a little bit shorter than the drill. As I mentioned on the impact driver, model number is the R97801, and we get the 1/4-inch Hex input. In fact, that should be one-handed assist, and I'll show that here in just one moment. As far as speeds go, we get 3 different modes, really 4 different modes. So we get 3 different speed modes. You'll see down here on the bottom, we get 1, 2, and 3. And then we have an auto mode or a tapping screw mode or a metal screw mode, and basically that's to keep you from stripping out metal faster. So when you're putting in self-tapping or self-drilling screws, it won't over-torque those in that thin sheet metal and overdo that, like if you're running roofing on or metal siding, things like that. It's going to be a great tool for that and stop that short of actually stripping out that fastener. Now in speed 1, we're going to get 0 to 900 RPM, and just like in the drill, we're going to get a variable speed trigger, so I can make that go as slow as I want to. And in 1, I'm going to get all the way up to 900 RPM. Now in speed 2, I'm going to get anywhere from 0 all the way up to 2000 RPM, and then in speed 3, up to 2900 RPM. And since it is an impact driver, we're going to get up to 4,200 impacts per minute. So as soon as we put some stress on this, we'll hear the impacting start, and again, that's going to go up to 4,200, and that's going to vary with those RPM as well. Now, power on this is supposed to be 1,850 inch-pounds, and if my math's correct, if we divide by 12, that's going to give us right at 150 foot-pounds, and we'll try that out here in a few moments. With this kit, we also get the beautiful embroidered RIDGID bag, as well as we kind of get a bottom tier charger, if you will. So pretty slow charger, but again, you know, if you're kind of new to the platform or, you know, just getting a kit, still a great kit. A little bit slower of a charge. You could step that up and get a lot faster charging, and you may want to step up to better batteries or higher amp hour batteries later as well. We'll test some different things with these also. Now let's take these tools and take them over and give them a little workout and see what we think. Now we're going to take a Selfie Auger. That's a 1-inch auger bit. I don't think in speed 2 it's going to be able to drive this 1-inch auger, but we will see. Yeah, I didn't think so. A couple of bumps maybe. So a couple of pulls of the trigger, it will make it through. So yeah, a couple of pulls, it pulls it through. In speed 1, I don't think we'll have an issue. It may split the wood. It just feeds so quick, it likes to split wood. So we'll do it one more time. So in speed 1, no problem whatsoever to drive that 1-inch auger. So if you're needing a 2-inch hole or 2 1/4, I've got a 2 1/4 inch bit on here. I'm even in speed 2. All right, so we're going to take our drill and we're going to put in a Torx bit. And we're going to try a few construction fasteners, and I'm going to go ahead and just set the clutch on 8. And we'll just see how the clutch works here. I've got 3 pieces of 2x material here, and we'll run this one in. So we get it started. Okay, so in 8, we're stopping about right there. Let's run on up to, let's say 14. Run up to 14. Not quite sinking it, so we'll run it up to 18, and I'm going to back it out a touch and run it back in. Okay, so we're sinking it about flush in 18, so I would say that's pretty good. And then let's go ahead and put it in drill mode, and we'll see if we can just run that past flush. Oh yeah, so we can run that as deep as we want to with this guy in this pressure treated. Well, 2 of these are pressure treated, and then I think this is probably a piece of something from out west. So as far as power to run these 3.5 or 4-inch deck screws, no problem whatsoever. And that's in speed 2 as well. You can put it down to 1 and gain even more torque. Now, since we're here, we'll go ahead and try out the impact driver as well on these construction fasteners, and then we'll go over to the test rig and actually see, you know, how tight we can get nuts and then back them off with the impact driver. But I mentioned to you about the one-handed bit insertion, and that's one reason I really love a lot of your RIDGID impact drivers, and that is, so you can see right now when I just released that the outside of the collet is kind of sticking out there. And that's basically, it's ready for a bit insertion. So watch this. I can just put that bit in there, take one finger, push it. It's going to lock that in. Okay, so now that's locked in. And then all I have to do is pull that out, and it ejects the bit as well. So one-handed bit insertion as well as one-handed bit ejection. So make sure you pull that ring all the way out, and it will lock in place, and then push it back in, and it's going to fall back and lock that bit in. And again, push it all the way out. It ejects the bit, and ready for that next bit to come back in. Really love that about RIDGID tools. So I'm in power mode 3 or speed mode 3, whatever you want to call that. I'm in number 3. Let's go to 2. So obviously not the power in 2 as we had in 3, which should be correct. And I'm going to go to auto. Obviously these are not metal screws, but we'll just see how this works here. So you see, as soon as it realized that I had any force against it, and went ahead and stopped the tool. It did it again. So that's what it's looking for, is that resistance. As soon as that screw bites, if you will, in that thin sheet metal, it's going to stop the tool. Now backing out, it's going to give me full power. So it's not like in auto mode in an impact wrench where it does it in reverse too. It's just for tightening so you don't overstrip those fasteners or over tighten those fasteners. Now we know this is a subcompact impact driver, so we're not expecting huge results out of this, but we do want to see how much force or how much torque can we get out of this little tool, especially in bolt removal mode, or how tight can we tighten a fastener and then break it free with this little subcompact impact driver. Well, we're going to start at 100 pounds with our high torque setter. All right, so what we've done, we've tightened this one to 100, 125, 150, and 175. We're in reverse. We're in mode 3, and we have a full battery. Okay, and you can watch these indexing marks, and we will give this 10 seconds to break that free. If it doesn't do it in 10 seconds, we won't count it. However, if it's moving at the 10-second mark, we will let it go ahead and remove that. Okay, so it was rated at 1,850 foot-pounds, which would be right at 150, or 1,850 inch-pounds, which would be right at 150 foot-pounds. And we broke free 150, we broke free 175. We're going to start back down here at 200 and go 225, and 250. So now we'll start back over. Again, we're at 200, 225, and 250. And all of these are now over what it's rated for. So again, just like I mentioned before, that was moving at 10 seconds, and that's why we went ahead and let it finish. So now we're at 250 foot-pounds. Okay, was not moving at the 10-second mark. So we broke free 225, could not do 250. Now we're going to take off the 2 amp hour and throw on a 4 amp hour max output battery and see if we can break that free. So it did. It was having a really rough time right at the 10-second mark. It was moving, but I think that's probably all we're going to get out of this little subcompact tool, which is pretty impressive. Let's reiterate that these are a subcompact duo or subcompact combo. So you're talking about a smaller class of tool meant to be compact, right? So small. But still, they deliver some power. So it's not meant to rival the top of the line or the most powerful, the highest performance, but still in the brushless lineup, they still do quite well. Since RIDGID doesn't have a 12-volt lineup anymore, this is kind of that class that steps down into that 12-volt range, or in some of the other subcompact 18-volt ranges, that's where these lie. And I think they fit quite nice. I mean, we're still dropping 225 foot-pounds of bolt removal torque out of this little guy, which is more than it should be doing. And as far as driving screws, it's going to do that fine. Is it going to do it as fast as a full-size 18-volt brushless or top-of-the-line tool? No, it's not. But again, it's a sub 3-pound tool. The same with the drill. Is this going to drill a 2 9/16 speed bore bit and do it in high speed? No, and it's not meant to do that. But will it do a 2 1/4 inch hole with a typical hole saw? Yeah, you can get by with doing that with no problem whatsoever, and drill 1-inch holes with a spade bit or a self-feed bit or whatever else you need to do. Even drive screws, it's going to do that as well. So for 80% of those tasks that you're doing all the time, that's the lighter duty stuff, this is a great option for you, especially when you look at the fact these are $139, not a piece, and not just the bare tools, but $139 for the 2 tools and the 2 amp hour batteries, charger, and the bag. Now, my recommendation would be to step up to a little better charger, and if you want a little more power and runtime out of the tools, step up to, say, a 4 amp hour battery. But to get started in a $139 kit, you can't argue with that. It's hard to find a combo kit for less than that, or even to price match that. And then you add to it that you get the RIDGID LSA or lifetime service agreement. Just make sure once you get your receipt, you purchase the tools, that you register your tools for that lifetime service agreement. Then your tools and your batteries are covered as long as you own the tools. So check it out for yourselves. Again, it's the RIDGID R97801 Sub-Compact Combo. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And by all means, if you hated our video, then give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.